if you really think about it, all those girls that you may see on Instagram that wearing those frontals, they don't have that same hairstyle very long. They don't keep their hair in long. They switch out those styles, every 2 to 3 days. So, think about that. It's not a longevity type of style. So welcome back to my channel. It's your girl T, and today we're going to talk all about frontals, okay? Should you get a frontal? Is a frontal for you? What's the maintenance of a frontal? Frontals, okay? Before we get in this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and while you're at it, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time I post a new video. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, so frontals. Frontals are the new thing, right? Frontals, very versatile. Is this a frontal? No, this is not a frontal. I love frontals, but nah, I'm a closure type of girl, okay? This is a closure. This is 6x6 closure that I have on. This is my deep wave hair, and I will leave a link to my website below if you would like to order a unit like this, okay? But, oh yeah, and it's glueless. Okay, so all about frontals. Let's go. There are many different things that you need to know about a frontal, like a lot. If you've never worn a wig, you don't need to get a frontal. I'm just gonna start right there. If you have never worn a wig, your first wig should not be a frontal, because I guarantee you, if you get a frontal as your first wig, you are going to hate wigs. And it's not the wig, it's the frontal. Frontals are very high maintenance. What does high maintenance mean? I'm glad you asked. Okay, so a frontal is not a style that's something that you can just like get up and go. If you're in a rush in the morning, if you go to the gym, no, it's gonna take you at least an extra 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, just to make sure your frontal is laid and your lace is not showing and you're not looking crazy. Because you can look crazy if your frontal does not lay, melt, and look right, okay? If your baby hairs aren't laying right, it's gonna look crazy, okay? Another thing, let's not get confused. Frontals or any type of lace, not just frontals, even closures, it will never be skinned, okay? It's no way it's gonna ever look like it's skinned. The problem is on social media and all these pictures and videos and these ring lights, they tend to make these lace wigs and lace closures and frontals, it tend to make them look more realistic than they look in person. And that's just the honest truth. And trust me, I make wigs, and I wear them, and filters can make them look different. Ring light can make them look different, and just an overall picture can blur out and make it look different than what it would look like in real life. What you really gonna be able to tell is in the sun. The sun is gonna tell, the lace is gonna tell everything, okay? So with a frontal, that's even more lace than having a closure. If you're a beginner wig wearer, I always say go with a closure. Start with the closure, and then gradually, if you like a closure, go with a bigger closure, and then eventually go to the frontals. So some things that you need to consider with a frontal, not only with it being high maintenance, which we'll get back into that, but you have to think about the lace color. There are different color lace, and you got to make sure that you get a lace that's going to blend in with your skin. They have transparent lace, they have HD lace, they have Swiss lace, light brown lace, dark brown lace. You need to know, if you do go with the frontal, you need to know the type of lace that the frontal is made with. If it's a thick lace, it's never going to melt and look good. If it's a dark brown lace, that dark brown is not going to blend in with a complexion that's like mine or even lighter. If you're lighter than me, you definitely need a transparent lace. You can't get away with a light brown lace. It won't look natural. Trust me. Okay. Another thing you need to think about with frontals is glue. Or you can get a glueless one, but glue. When you're dealing with lace and you want it to melt and you want it to look good, most of those Instagram influencers and those models that wear those wigs and show it melting perfectly, they're using glue, okay? And I don't care what nobody say, glue can eventually pull out your edges. Trust, I'm a hairstylist. I wear wigs and I know. It don't matter how many coats of skin protect or how soft and delicate you take it off. Your edges is the brittlest. Is that even a word? Your edges are very brittle. It's more brittle than any other part of the hair that's on your head. And when that glue gets in contact with it, because it may not when the stylist first put it on. Of course, they're going to put the glue in front of your hairline. But you got to think, that frontal is going to eventually lift as your hair grows and slide back. And when it slides back, where is that glue going? It's going back into your hair. So now when it's time to take it out, yeah, you might have on one of those caps. Some glue is going to get in contact with your hair. I don't care what any stylist say. Trust me, listen to me. I know. I used to do them with the glue. Now I'm all pro glueless. Now, when you're dealing with the frontal that's glueless, you have to worry about the elastic band. The elastic band is good. I'm so sorry. My baby done. He's in here with his tablet, and if you hear, I'm so sorry. But with the elastic band, that's good because that adjusts the tightness of the frontal, because the frontal is from ear to ear. It's this side all the way to the other side. But the elastic band pulls to make your frontal lay down flat. It's gonna mainly make sure it's laying down flat along this part. But what about your sideburns? What about your sideburns? If you don't put nothing on them, they're going to flap up. You're going to have two flapping sideburns unless you put some sort of mousse, which nowadays when people say glueless, they're using some kind of mousse, or that got to be freeze spray. The got to be freeze spray will hold down those edges, but it's still, the sideburns, but it's still just a temporary hold. It's not, something that'll last very long. Sit down. Okay, I'm sorry. I would say this. If you are thinking about getting a frontal, think about this. Do you really plan to pull your hair up? Do you want to pull it up in a ponytail? If you don't plan to pull it up, if you just plan to wear it one way, one like this, just one type of part, I don't need a frontal, because guess what? We don't ever worry about what's going on over here or underneath here, because that's going to always be down over the lace. So I don't need lace there, okay? So think about the style. So if you do want to pull it up in a ponytail and things like that, even with a frontal, you can't be messing with it a whole lot, because that, it's versatile. You can make it up into a high ponytail or something, but it's not for you to be playing around with a lot, because that glue will get loose if you're using glue, or that wig is not gonna last because it's gonna be shedding because you're brushing it and combing it so much daily. It's not your real hair, sis. You just can't do that. So if it's a special occasion, if it's your birthday or something, then go with the frontal. If it's just everyday wear and you just like the look, but you know that you're just an average working woman, go to the gym, do your thing, want to run in Walmart, throwing on a frontal, that's not it. Trust me. If you really think about it, all those girls that you may see on Instagram that wearing those frontals, they don't have that same hairstyle very long. They don't keep their hair in long. They switch out those styles, every 2 to 3 days. So, think about that. It's not a longevity type of style. You have to put something on those edges to keep them down. And 9 times out of 10, mousse normally works. You can just use a little mousse, tie it down, and when you take it up, the mousse will kind of hold that sideburn down in place. So it's still technically glueless. That's why people say glueless. It's because they're not using the actual adhesive or glue. Another thing about frontals, you have to be very gentle with frontals because that hair has been bleached. The knots on the hair has been bleached. So the hair is very fragile. If you're just yanking and pulling and combing on your frontal every day, you're more prone to get a lot of shedding, okay? And when you get shedding, you're gonna get bald spots in your frontal. So a frontal is not meant to last forever. You will probably have to switch out your frontal if you get it as a wig. You know, maybe within 3 or 4 months, especially if you're wearing it every day. And if you decide to get your frontal installed with glue or something, then you probably will only be able to use that frontal one time. Frontals are more expensive than closures, so that's another thing. They're more expensive and they don't last as long. They're more expensive, they will shed, they're more expensive. There is more maintenance work in the morning. You can't just get up and think you're about to be running late and take your scarf off and go. Sis, you're gonna have to use a little bit of mousse, a little edge brush, and you're gonna have to get that frontal looking right so that you're not looking crazy, okay? So yeah, that basically sums up what I have or what I can think of right now about the frontals. You know, to each its own. You know, frontals are the new thing. However, you do need to consider some of the things that I mentioned in this video before you decide to go with the frontal, especially if it's your first wig. Take my advice. Don't start with the frontal, okay? Start with the closure and work your way up. Honestly, closures, they're making closures a lot bigger now. And with the closures being bigger, it still gives you a frontal look without the maintenance of the frontal, without worrying about the sideburns of the frontal or, you know, it sliding back and all of that. Just, you know, trust me, I hope this video save you some time and save you some money to go ahead and get yourself a nice closure, sis, and it'll still look real good. And I thank you guys so much for watching. If this video helped you, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.